What's going on, people? Troops TV. Back again. Back our blood clot again, you understand? Welcome back, people. Welcome back to the Arsenal breakdown, you understand? It's another ep blood, you get me? You don't know the vibes. Make sure you like, share, comment, and subscribe to the blood clot ting. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, you get me, on the Arsenal breakdown, it's an Avengers thing, you get me? And I needed to call out the Avengers for this one because, boy, you understand? Things need to be broken down, blood. You get me? I need to break bread with the man, them, blood. You understand? So you don't know the vibes. Zaza, Potts, Turkish. The man, them are in the cup, blood. You understand? It's gonna be a bit of a dead one, blood. I'm not gonna lie, fam. You understand? The last one we enjoyed, Zar, you get me? It was me, you, Yardman, and Prems, blood. You understand? It was a joyous one after the 3-0 win, but yeah, this one we held an L, blood. You get me? But man, them, let's just, you get me? Let's just get straight into this one. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, last night, 1-0 defeat in the first leg at home. Turkish Pots, you man were there, blood. How was the atmosphere pre-match?
Go on, Turkish.
PSG fans were lit. Our fans were all right, I think. I don't think it was anything special, if I'm honest with you. Like I said, PSG fans took over from. I was in the stadium 45 minutes before kickoff. They was on it 45 minutes before kickoff. Went quiet for about 10 minutes and then carried on again from kickoff all the way through the game. Obviously, the early goal helped, but listen, when I went mad after United, people misconstrued what I said about the whole Havertz chant and everything. I said I don't like that chant. It doesn't make sense to me. And it doesn't make sense how many new players we make chants for without them ever doing anything. But that's very different to not wanting people to sing or not wanting people to chant. That's a big part of atmosphere. And we just didn't. I don't care if it was the 4th minute goal or what. It just wasn't there. And I'm not blaming any particular fan or group of fans because the club are behind it, really. With the ballots, number one, there's inconsistency in who goes to which game and how maybe loyal that fan is. I saw bare couples there, and I couples go to games. I get that, but this ain't one of those games where I need to be seeing bare couples. Like, it's not one of those ones, really. Yeah, but I'm seeing bare, and I get it. That's what it's become. But then on top of that, the whole TIFO rejection, that doesn't help. And then you see what they bring out. I mean, I was embarrassed by that. Like, I think a lot of people were looking at it. Number one, it was shit. And number two, they didn't even hang it properly. So whichever way you want to look at it.
Yeah, the thing was sideways, blood. The thing was lopsided, brother. The thing, I swear, man was high when they've pinned that, bro. The lines were like, blood. They were not. What the fuck is going on?
If I open this door, it'll look exactly like how my shower curtain's hanging. That's how it looked like.
Yeah,
like a goddamn fucking shower curtain.
Dodgy. Like, and the whole thing was like, we've got something in store, and let's make this. Like, how's that what you come out with? Like, who done that? Because whoever done that, sacked, and then whoever authorized the person that done that, sacked them as well. It should be done today, because they're out of touch with what that should have been. Very out of touch. The Real Madrid one, I watched it on TV, and it was much better without even being there, without knowing how good it was. The whole red, white bag thing across the stadium, and then they had the TIFO there, made sense. Henry, Madrid, whatever. 100 bang on. And then we go produce that in the bigger game. Like, so the atmosphere wasn't great, 100%. But too much emphasis is on the fan side of things. A lot of people, the fans were embarrassing, this and that. Maybe, but why were the fans embarrassing to you? Because the team was embarrassing. The manager was embarrassing. And before people, I praised him last week. I praised him the week before. I praised him last season. I praise when I need to praise, and I criticize when I feel I need to criticize. It was all embarrassing yesterday. From the show they tried to put on, a few fireball things flying in the air, and then this flag hanging lopsided. It didn't make no sense. 4 minutes in, we concede. Not only concede, but we concede after, in the first 3 minutes, they're bopping us around in midfield. And that's the first time I'm looking at us this season, even though we've been poor, a side bopping us like that. And then the goal comes straight through midfield. And from there, the fans in the stadium, I mean, I'm looking around seeing fans clapping when someone should be scoring and it's gone wide. And then you'll get the Unlucky. No, not unlucky. This is the elite level of football. It's not fucking unlucky. It's what the fuck are you doing? But yeah, hopefully that answers your question, bro.
No, I'm with Turkish, man. Like straight away, people were like, Arsenal lost, the fans were shit. How about Arsenal lost, the team and the manager was shit? Yeah, because we can only do so much. We can only sit and cheer and get up for a game where after 3 minutes we basically get controlled and we're 1-0 down already. We don't touch the ball for 25 minutes. Like real talk, like that's what annoyed me more, not because my mate weren't singing next to me or because the other side of the crowd weren't clapping loud enough. That didn't piss me off. What pissed me off was what I saw, not what I see around the stadium. You know, Wayne Rooney wants to sit there and talk about how the Emirates is pretty special, but it weren't tonight and all that stuff. I don't care about that. That's just noise to me. I don't give a damn about that. I care about what I see on the pitch, man. So in terms of the atmosphere before the game, it was electric. The Ashburton Army were class, to be fair to them. They did their walk. I see it. As with judges, it was like, wow, that's pretty impressive. And then you get into the stadium and in the concourse, it's going mad. Literally, you could hardly hear anything talking to your mates. You had to scream over them to hear. It was unbelievable. We brought that in. We sung North London Forever as always, and then it was really, really loud. The problem we got is we didn't even stop singing before they'd already scored and we were 1-0 down. That's how mad it was. Like that's the only time, I don't know about you, Turkish, that I actually looked and thought if I didn't see the game, I would not have known we were 1-0 down. Because literally I didn't hear celebrations, I didn't see any groans, I didn't see any oh my gods, I just heard people still screaming. I legit believe people turned around and was like, "Whoa, 1-0, what happened there?" Didn't even see it. Because it was screaming that loud. So I'm not going to sit there and slam the fans for not shouting loud enough. Like for me, when the players keep doing this, I get vexed because I want them to start making fucking changes instead of throwing their fucking arms up in the air. Yeah, I want our captain, instead of doing that, to actually do something with his footwork because he's been disappearing for the last 6 months. When Raya's doing this with his arms, just get back in your goal and stop running up to the halfway line. Just keep on the fucking goal line, man. You're the goalkeeper. Do you know what I'm saying? This is what pisses me off, bruv. And we've got a manager that keeps doing this every single time because he needs us. We need you, man. We're doing our job. I find it very difficult to do my job when you're not doing yours. You're waiting to the 89th minute to make a change. You're bringing on Ben White for Timber and nothing else. And I get people that stick up for him in excuses, and I see him on AFTV and other fan cams and other contents. Oh, what could he do? We got injuries. There's nothing we could do. Fuck off, man. Bring Lewis Skelly into midfield. Bring Kieran Tierney on. Put Marino up top. Make sure you bring on Waneri on the 60th minute, not the fucking 89th, because Erdegaard was stinking out the gaff yet again. There's so much more he could have done. Zinchenko could have come on into midfield if you really want to go down that route. Nah, nothing. Ethan comes on 89 minutes. Do you know what? I would never do this, and I'd never expect Ethan to, but I would have rolled my eyes and gone, really, boss? You want to bring me on with 6 minutes to go to win you a game? Come on. I mean, I'll do it, but this is embarrassing. And look, I don't really care for all the TIFO stuff and all that stuff. If I'm honest, I just feel personally it was all embarrassing. And you know, Czar's right, man. You could hang your shower curtain better than that. But when I look at it, I just feel there's so much in this game that that people aren't looking at first. And unfortunately, people ain't gonna like it, so I think I'm negative when I say it. But I'm looking at the manager big time, big time last night.
Did he get the lineup wrong, Czar? I mean, I've been saying that, as soon as Partey got suspended, the fucking absolute dunce, that we should be doing Tierney left back, pushing Skelly into his natural position in midfield and keeping Marino in the attack because of the midfield that we're going up against, blood. You get me? Vitina, João Neves, Fabian Ruiz. These man can get in and you get me? They're very nimble, good on the ball. They're not slow. They're mobile. Marino is not that player, blood. You understand? You see him getting cut up in the midfield, the way that Dewey was just dropping his shoulder and just gliding past him. And I'm not even blaming Marino. You understand? Because I blame Arteta for putting him in that fucking position, blood. We've seen it hasn't worked, and yet again you go and do it. It's like last season with the Havertz thing against fucking Villa. We know it don't work in the midfield. A must-win game. What do? You put him where it don't fucking work, blood.
Yeah, no, that's what I've been trying to think of since the beginning. Did he get the lineup wrong with what was losing both Partey and Jorginho was huge for that number 6 position. So it's shuffling around. After the fact, after seeing what happened, we can say that maybe he might have gotten it wrong. But what I want to focus more on is the fact that he just didn't react. Bro, we were getting the entire first half, we were just getting run over, and he chose not to react, just sat on his hands, brought in the same thing, and only brought in Ben White at the end of the game, as you pointed out. And I don't know what's going on with Ethan. I mean, Ethan hasn't played. We go from thinking we have a star boys generational player, and then these last 3-4 games, the kid has only come on for like the last 10-15 minutes of games. I don't know what's going on with that. And it's a tough one. It's a tough one because the score, it could have been way worse. There's that element, there's that glimpse of hope that was still in it because it's 1-0. But if we play like what we saw yesterday, we had no control whatsoever. We had no control of that
You know
game
what it
whatsoever.
reminded me of? It reminded me of 2009 Barcelona when their midfield, fucking Xavi, Iniesta, and Busquets would just bop midfields all across Europe. You couldn't get the ball off them. And I'm like, brother, this is not Barca. This is fucking PSG, bro.
Yeah.
Get in and amongst it, bro. They're just backing off them, blood. The amount of space in the midfield. Then Bele's going into the center of the pitch. He's got the whole fucking center, bro. No, not a soul there.
And then the little that we had, we're doing the whole U thing. We're just going this way, this way.
Bro, Saliba won the ball, and drove forward, got over the halfway line, passed to Skelly. The ball was on down the left, Skelly's cut back in and passed to Kiwior. And then they've gone to the other side.
Yeah.
I'm saying, what the fuck? Why are we going forward to go sideways to go back, bro?
Just doing use. No one wants to shoot. No one wants to actually take initiative. The Odegaard missing in the middle. So it could have been way, way, way worse. But it's stunning that it's only still 1-0. We cannot afford to play. And I mean, I guess it shows how important Partey is. Partey is to how we play the transition from defense to offense. But even without him, bro, that was a disaster. That was a disaster. And I'm just thanking God that it's only still 1-0, honestly.
Martin Odegaard. What is going on with this man, blood? You get me? Because this season has just been an absolute disgrace, blood. You get me? Blood. Do you know how mad it is? Yeah, I think Gallas was a better captain than him, blood.
Yeah, Troops.
That's how. This is how tragic.
Troops.
This is how tragic it's been, bro. This Gallas was crying on the halfway line, doing up absolute fuckery, blood. Yeah, but at least Gallas actually cared, blood. Gallas was actually angry because the rest of the man then was shit. This man is just ghosting game after game, blood. Yesterday, I did not see him, bro. I did not see him, blood. Every set piece he took, wasted. Rice takes one, we get the disallowed goal. This is a captain of Arsenal Football Club, blood. Yeah? I know he's not this Vieira type where he's going to get me, cuss people and wow them up, blood. And stamp his authority through his aggression. Bro, I know he's going to, you get me, play and lead by example in that way, bro. You understand? Get on the ball, create, dominate the game, get us back into the game. Them kind of things. I know he's not that flipping, you get me, the Tony Adams type to rally the troops. You understand? But he's not even doing that, bro. When's the last time he played good? When's the last time Odegaard stamped his mark on a game? When is it?
When's the first time in his career at Arsenal that he's dragged us across the line? I don't see one. And this is the thing, man. I want to come in here quickly on this Odegaard thing because I've been trying to defend this guy for some time because I see a player. Yeah, me and you have been on the same line with this, Troops, right? I've gone flipping, flopping with Odegaard for the last 3 years. I was one that wanted Maddison over him. And then everyone said, nah, you've been muddied. He's gone to Tottenham, done nothing. And look at what Odegaard can do, 15 goals for Arsenal. Then I see performances like he's been putting in this season with 6 GA. And it's pathetic, if I'm honest with you. People keep telling me this guy's doing night feeds, can't play football. Is he like Guinness Book of Records for the only person to have a kid then? Is he the only one that's got a kid in football? Because that's not an excuse. He's been sick and injured for the best part of the season. Don't play him then. If he's not fit, don't play him if he's getting injections still. And then I look at these stats. Listen to the state of this. 0.08 expected assists. 0 of his free crosses actually arrived in the box to anyone at Arsenal's shirts on. 0 long balls or long passes. No shots on target. No shots off target. 14 times lost possession. 5 out of the 6 dribbles were failed. And 6 out of 8 ground duels lost. He made 1 pass in the first 30 minutes of the game. 1 in the first 30 minutes of this football match. And he's our creative spark. So when people say, oh, this guy's our creative midfielder, he's our leader, those sort of performances give you an kind of worthy of getting rid of that armband and giving it to someone else. Or better still, drop him and then give it to Rice so you don't have to take it off him. Just drop him, get him out of the team and just say, Rice, you're now our captain for now. The guy has been an awful disgrace of a guy this season. It's been nothing short of disgusting, some of his performances, where he's disappeared in games, hidden in games, making the wrong decisions, spinning around like fucking Cardi Minogue, pirouetting all the time. Just fucking keep it simple and pass the fucking ball, man. This guy's sick and tired of this guy watching him. So doesn't shoot when he's supposed to, doesn't pass when he's supposed to. Obsessed with the little lofting balls over the top, which just go out of play. All of his decision-making, Troops, has been shit. His weight of pass ain't there. His delivery ain't there. His crosses ain't good enough. There's no creativity. There's no assists. He doesn't look like scoring. Yesterday, what's he even playing, boys? Like, he was fucking invisible. I'm sick of the performances consistently from this guy, man. He's putting people like dead in the mud when they've been saying he's a good player, he's creative. I can name you 5 or 6 players this season that have been better in the Premier League. Bruno Fernandes, I'm not a fan of. He's been better. Yeah, Joe Linton's been better for Newcastle. Cunha's been better. Eze's been better. Morgan Gibbs-White's been better. Morgan Rogers has been better. Kulusevski has been better. Do you want any of them at Arsenal? Maybe you take a couple, but believe me when I say that Ødegaard should be delivering better the performances of those guys. Yeah, we're not comparing him with Zidane or Ronaldinho here. We're trying to ask if he can be a Morgan Gibbs-White or an Eze. You can't even do that. This guy is not a leader and a captain, man. For me, if I was walking in there, I'd be going, oh, you the captain? Yeah, sorry, bro. It's going to the Gabriel or it's going to Rice. I ain't having him as my captain, man. He's a good role model and he reminds Arteta of himself. Nah, man, tap me out then if he's going to carry on playing like this, because this is a shambles, bro.
Yeah, I think he's been exposed now in terms of the captaincy stuff. The creative stuff, I don't know when I'll completely pass judgment on that. I think partly Mikel's tactics over the last couple of years have had an effect on him. But the captaincy stuff, I just think, you know, he, when appointed captain, felt a bit weird. I thought Tierney, but obviously his thoughts on Tierney and what played out over the next year and then how we improved. Ødegaard, in my opinion, was a good choice at the time. That doesn't mean he's a good choice now for that same role. Now, I know there's a lot to be said about how you take it off him and whatnot. But essentially, you know, this season, when we've needed a leader in any game, whether it's the 13 draws or whether it's this last semi-final first leg we're talking about, he hasn't stepped up. Troops, you asked a question, when was the last time he stepped up? He hasn't. He hasn't. The creativity side, I need Arteta to loosen up a little bit tactically, because I think all but Saka have been affected by the tactical tweaks. And even then, yesterday, Dan, I mentioned it on Forever. I don't know if you remember, but in the first half, after it died down, the initial noise, the next biggest moment, noise-wise, was when Saka won the ball back from Doué in the right-back position, when Doué was running into the box. Salah's just come off the weekend saying, I'm allowed to do what I need to do in the attacking third. Like, I don't need to deal with that stuff. Whereas Saka has adapted his game to Mikel's tactics and still produces, right? Martinelli hasn't done that. Ødegaard hasn't done that. Trossard hasn't improved since he's come in. He's done exactly what we've needed him to do up until relying on him this season, and he's not that guy to rely on. That's our fault, not his. So I think Arteta needs to loosen up before I can judge Ødegaard in terms of, has he fallen off creatively as well? Or not just creatively, I mean in terms of having an impact. I think he's an 8. Honestly, I think he's an 8. But that's again something that Arteta hasn't tried. Like, you know, at least try it, because maybe if it's not Lewis Skelly in the 6, which is something I presented, I think Troop said the same, I think Lee Judges said the same. If it's not Lewis Skelly 6, Rice 8 to keep him where he's doing his thing, and an Ødegaard 10, then maybe against Palace or Ipswich you try Rice in the 6, Ødegaard in the 8, and Ranieri in the 10. You know, a bit more juicy, more meat on the bones. You know, even us, man, would be like, let's see what this has got in store. It's a bit interesting, but no. It's the same shit in the league, in the tester games, because that's all the league's been in the last 2 months. Tester games for PSV, tester games for Real Madrid, tester games for PSV or PSG, whichever one I didn't say. That's all it's been, and we haven't tested. We fell upon Merino coming off the bench, banging 2 goals. Leicester, that's it. That's that internal solution done, apparently. Everything off the back of that. What, Saka comes back in? Cool. That was the expected impact, quality player, of course. Coming back in, we're going to improve or be more of a threat. But he hasn't figured anything else out. Hence why 89.5 minutes, the guy you haven't started in the league for the last 3 games, you're bringing on. But you started Sterling. It would have made more sense to bring him on. I would have understood. I would have understood him more. I would have been like, well, he played him, so that's why he's bringing him on.
Experience.
Yeah, but he brought a Nwaneri, which I prefer.
Yeah.
But why didn't you play him on the weekend then?
Yeah.
If that's the guy you're going to rely on, which we all agree, if we need to change that and that's all we got, why is Sterling starting our league game? Why? He's finished. Like the league is finished. He's finished. What are we doing here? But yeah, this is all. But it pisses man off because it's the moment in a semi-final, you should always believe, right? But it's that moment. Lee Judges said something on his fan cam, and it's the best thing I've heard all season. No one expected against Real Madrid. There was pressure on that game. It's Real Madrid, but no one expected. So the pressure is a bit different. The pressure is give it a go, fight, don't embarrass us. They done amazing. One of the best 2-leg performances I've seen from us, if not the best in my life in Europe, right? And then the expectation comes because of that as well. PSG, okay, tactically better. Luis Enrique, more modern day manager. They're in better form for sure. But look, the expectation comes, and then the fight goes.
We fold.
They fold
completely.
Every time. Second, probably second. Now semi-final, and I'm probably here semi-finals progress on a quarter-final. In a cup, there's no progress.
Yeah, he went one round further.
You don't do that in a cup. Do you get it? In a league, you can make sense of it, but not in a cup, bro. Not in a fucking.
Bro, the guy literally cannot handle pressure, man. He cannot handle pressure. Real talk, man. Like, we don't even have to talk about the title challenges. We can go back in time. Yeah, we've lost at pressure at that ground when we lost to Olympiacos. We were in the Europa League. We've lost to Sporting Lisbon in the Europa League. Yeah. Yep. We've lost to other teams. We've lost to Brighton in the Cups, and we've lost to bloody Liverpool in FA Cups and all this stuff. But you know what? When we went for top 4, we bottled it and we couldn't handle the pressure against Brighton, Southampton and Palace. Then the following season, we found ourselves in a title race and we lost to West Ham and Southampton and Liverpool. Then we go into another one, Villa. Yeah, to Liverpool and West Ham. Then we get Villa last season. All we had to do was win that game, crumble. And this season, you can name 4 or 5. We weren't even in a title race, boys. Let's be honest, this season, it's embarrassing. Yeah. We've had 5 or 6 games that we've crumbled. And you know what we've done again? Consistently dunked ourselves out of the FA Cups and the League Cups again this season. And now we've gone into no pressure like there wasn't against Real Madrid. Arsenal are going to get battered. Arsenal are going out. Oh, there's no pressure, boys. They think we're losing this one. Wow, we've gone 5-1. Now the pressure's on. Arsenal are going through. Not one person said we were losing that game last night. Not that I spoke to. Everyone, Arsenal are going to win this one.
I predicted 2-1 Arsenal.
I predicted 2-1 Arsenal. How negative of us, troops. How negative and toxic of us to go 2-1 Arsenal. Like, this is the problem I've got.
Turkish predicted 4-1.
Considering, I mean, we've beaten this team before. I mean, granted, it was a different time of the year, but it's like,
bro, it's mad. PSG nil. Listen, man, I think every time this is where people, I don't know how people cannot understand why justifiably people like me, Turkish, Curtis, you troops, Zah, others have all said, not sure about this manager still. Need him to get across the line. Wow, what? That's awful. Have you not appreciated what he's done to get us to? Yeah, well, he's got us challenging. He's taken us to a semi-final. But we handed out a manager for getting us into Champions League 20 years in a row, getting us into semis, winning FA Cups and doubles and going invincible. So, correct me if I'm wrong, but that's a lot harder to do than get to a semi-final against Real Madrid. So why are we in a position now where this guy is untouchable? And I'm hearing it again. Oh, I don't think it's harsh to blame Mikel last night. What was he supposed to do? He's got injuries. He ain't got anybody.
Bring on Ethan in at halftime.
There you go.
Try.
None of our injuries solve the problems that we're seeing and saw last night. Because Gabriel doesn't, because we're not looking defensively. And for God's sake, does Havertz solve any problems in attack? That's all we're missing. He doesn't solve problems. He adds an equation to the fucking problem.
Yeah.
So like, let's not act like these injuries. I don't know what all this, diversion is, but the injury it's the transfer stuff again. That's what it comes down to.
Yep.
Because they had the market opportunity, the same one we had. They got him, Kvaratskhelia. Imagine we had Kvaratskhelia and Saka either wing.
Yeah.
Come on, but it's not. But we don't. They had Barcola, Due, but they still brought him on top. Why? Why do you think they done that? Ambition. That's the difference. Ambition. Whereas we just now it's next week has to be special. We have to do special. Just all these words, man. Like, come on, man. Last night was meant to be special. Of course, next week has to be special, but will it? I still think we got a chance.
That's the 1-0. The 1-0 aspect of it is why this is what's driving me nuts. It's the fact that it's still 1-0, but what I saw yesterday was just so uninspiring. Because guess what? Nothing is well, I guess something's changing Partey, but nothing ain't gonna change. It's gonna be more of that, but we're still somewhat in it somehow. And even yesterday, we could have, if it wasn't for Donnarumma made two fantastic saves. If it wasn't for him, it's I don't know.
And more people are trying to blame, and I see a lot of blame going to Partey. Partey is definitely he is stupid for what he done. But how about the manager take him off with 15 minutes to go, considering we were 4-1 up against Real Madrid and he's one of our most important players? How about you take him off with a yellow card away from
knowing that he's on a suspension?
How about that? Did anyone get onto Roy Keane when he got his yellow card when United were on the? This modern day thing is just mad. Yes, he takes some blame, but it was a stupid yellow. But we saw Bellingham trying to do that to Rice and a few players all evening. So at 4-1, hey, you're on a yellow. Come here, mate. Come off. People should stop trying to look at Partey again for yesterday. Figure it out. Because Partey was on the way out of this club a few weeks ago. Did you get it? So was Marino the answer in the 8, or Havertz in the 8, or Lokonga in the 8? None of the midfield, answers have worked out, bro. That's why Partey is still as integral as always. Now, they got nothing on Partey. None of these players I've mentioned, but it was obvious the year we bought Havertz and Rice, it was meant to be Rice 6, Havertz 8. And then eventually Partey will get moved on. That was Havertz dead up front, Rice 8, cool. Partey solid, cool. Well, actually, he was missing for most of the season, but comes in this season. Marino, not great in the 8, cool. This is the midfield again. Do you remember once upon a time we was all crying out to see Partey, Rice, Odegaard? We was all crying out for it, right? This season, when I see it, it's just like it's a bit like it's our best midfield, but it's like. It's not. I don't have we need something in that midfield.
You look at it, like, where's the dynamism?
Vitinha was running rings around.
Dynamic. It looks like.
Where's the moment of magic?
Where's our Vitinha?
Yeah.
Even Neves. There was combined.
There's no spark.
Spark. That's it. Because Partey's cold, but he's not spark. Rice.
He's not a Santi.
Yeah, Rice has.
Rice is the box. He's the box.
Rice is the engine.
He's the box-to-box guy. It's meant to be Odegaard.
No spark.
Then you need your spark.
The spark is meant to be the captain.
Who's the gem?
Odegaard is meant to be the spark, but for God's sake,
bloody he needs a spark plug.
I think I need more than that, bro.
But the problem is, Arteta's loyal. You won't drop him. He won't. I'm not saying strip him off the captaincy. The midfield is flat.
I'm at that point where he needs to be stripped.
Well, not right now, but I'm saying for this next game.
Why not right now, bro?
More than happy. I'll be more than happy to.
Alas got stripped mid-season. Why can't he get stripped?
Mid-season, it can go left. It can go left. He has relationships.
What's gonna go left now, blood? The season's gone left already.
We're still 1-0. We still got that 1-0. The game to thing. If
you're with Turkish, you think this? You think something still can go on?
Because it's still 1-0. Because it's still 1-0, bro. We are having a different conversation right now. Us four are having a different conversation right now. If that goal ain't called offside, if his toe is just a bit back, we're having a completely different conversation. Yeah, we didn't have the control at all whatsoever, but our defense kept us in there. And the score, it's there. It's still there for the.
Was it our defense or was it PSG not being able to finish their dinner?
Raya made two
because
saves,
Makola missed the chance.
Yeah,
Ramos hit the bar.
Wide.
Ramos hit the bar. Dewey hit the post.
Yep.
Raya made a save.
He made save.
Saliba,
Dodge the
and
bullet.
Saliba made a last ditch
Saliba the
challenge
tackle, last
Hakimi.
ditch tackle.
from
Yeah.
Hakimi.
Hakimi,
Dodge
yeah.
the bullet on the
That was the only one was Saliba. The
on
rest
the
of them,
Timber. We dodged
it
the
was
bullet on the Timber thing. Timber
and
penalty.
Timber the deflection on Cava's shot.
Oh yeah.
Because
But then
that
we
took it
also
into
had
Raya blood. If that never
we
deflect,
had
that probably goes bang.
we had the Trossard one. Trossard should have scored. Marino,
Trossard should have scored.
Martinelli.
Martinelli should have scored twice.
Martinelli blood.
Seriously, Martinelli should have scored
So
twice.
it's and that's the thing is how are we so garbage, but we're still somewhat that's what I don't understand. That's why I don't know what to make of this. I honestly don't know what to make of
This
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 team, this
midfield,
game.
this midfield is absolutely ridiculous. I'm sorry, I've got to say it. I think this midfield is a joke.
Neves,
Of Arsenal.
Vitinha, yeah.
I-
God.
how we've managed to. I mean, their midfield is unreal. Vitinha is ridiculous. How we go to Porto and we end up with Fabio Vieira and not Vitinha is criminal from Edu and Arteta. Yeah, and then obviously João Neves has been phenomenal in my opinion, and then Fabian Ruiz is one of the most underrated. Then look at our midfield. We've been spending 3 years trying to replace Granit Xhaka, right? The guy that for 6 years I wanted out of this football club. For the last 18 months of his career at Arsenal did good. The rest of it was a joke. Right. Some of that was mismanagement of how good he is in terms of his attributes. Some of it is just actually there's better than him. We should not be spending £280 million to try and replace Granit Xhaka, but that's what we've done. We spent it on Lokonga, weren't good enough. We went to Fabi Vieira, weren't good enough. We looked at Smith Rowe and Trossard playing there, not happened. Kai Havertz, he's ended up being our 9. Mourinho, funny enough, has ended up being our 9. Declan Rice has ended up playing there when all of us believe he's a 6. There is so much money being spent on this position, people, when really all we needed to do, really and truly, was go and buy a proper box-to-box midfielder. And I don't care who it is. I don't care if it's Bruno G. I don't care if it's Frankie de Jong. I don't care who it is. Go and get that guy in that we need to be our Vitinha. And then you go and play, or you use Erdegaard there, and you go and buy a proper creative midfielder and a spark. Like, this guy is mucking around with it all so much in midfield. And this is the future last night, people. Party. Without Party, that's what our midfield is. Rice, Marino, and Erdegaard. No athleticism, very rigid, no creativity, no fluidity. That's what it's looking likely. So now Zubamendi people will be shouting at the screen. Yeah, cool. Is he better than Partey? I ain't seen enough. But is he better than Partey? I don't think he is from what I'm being told. I think he's a good player. But is he going to take us to that next elite level? I don't know, man. I think the midfield is a massive issue even going into next season. And that's before we even mention the fact we need a winger and a striker. Like, there's a lot to do here, bro. And just lastly on the tie, call me negative. I think we're out, bro. I think we're out. I'll tell you why I think we're out. It's not because, oh my God, they smashed us. It's because they will score, which means we need 2 just to take it to extra time. I do not think that's going to happen. I pray I'm wrong. I pray we deliver. I pray I don't care if we stink it out 1-0 and we go to penalties and win on penalties. Get me through to the final. But I just don't see it now. I just think they're going to be too much for us.
I hear you, Potts. I think, and where I differ a little bit from what you're saying, I think our defense can keep us in the tie. Our defense can keep us in the tie, and then from there, who knows what the hell will happen.
Our attack has to get us in the tie.
That's the thing. That's where the problem. That's where the issue is our attack has to get us back in. Has to get.
I get what these men are saying. I understand it.
So we might be toasting, I guess.
We could be.
I don't know, man.
We could
but
be.
our defense, it gives me hope. That game yesterday could have been. I mean, we lucked out with the post and all that, but it could have been worse. It's the competence of our defense that somewhat gives me hope, but the goals, where the goals going to come from? Definitely not Martin Odegaard. So
Arteta has to do something
we
to outsmart.
hope for a miracle. We hope for a Saka. That's the thing, bro. A guy coming off a hamstring that was off his bone is the one that we're looking. He's barely had more than what? It's about 10 games or less than 10 games being back, and that's the guy that we're hoping for each and every game for a moment of magic. But that's the spot we're in.
I think it's done. I think we're out. I think losing that first leg, that's it. We had to go there with a lead and a decent lead as well, because that ground is actually an intimidating ground. That is actually a toxic ground. That is actually You understand? You don't like playing in PSG, bro, on times like this, blood. You understand? You're gonna see about Tifo. You get me? And they're probably gonna be handing out flares at the fucking entrances.
Yeah.
The players are gonna go there and be, yo, this is okay. This is a different atmosphere, blood. They ain't played in an atmosphere like that before, blood. I don't know if they can deal with it. I don't know if mentally, you know what I mean? All of them can deal with it. Some of them I'm like, yeah, cool. The rest of them is going to be a big eye opener, blood.
And that's what you got to do that, man. I'm sorry, but if man crumble at that sort of atmosphere, then I don't want them man in the club. You need man to thrive in that atmosphere. That's how greats are made. That's how the big, the memories are made. And listen, Bernabeu, they did their thing, and that's kind of why I still think we've got a chance. If it was any more than 1-0, if it was 2-0, we're out. I just think if we get the first goal, especially if we get the first goal, I think we've got still a strong chance. But I understand, listen, it's precarious right now. I think we're more likely to go out than go through. That's for sure. But I need Arteta to pull out his best win for Arsenal, because I was about to ask you, man, what's Arteta's best win for Arsenal in his modern era? Not because FA Cup final, FA Cup, so forget that. In the last 3 years, what's Arteta's biggest win?
The last week, the last round. Sorry,
exactly. So it's
round.
fresh. It's fresh. So we need that again. We need and the biggest win before that, Man City 5-1. That was in February. We need that again. Yeah. I was surprised by that 5-1. I was surprised by the 2 legs against Real. Not really surprised by last night, even though I was confident. I need to be surprised again next Wednesday. I need to be surprised.
Yeah, that's we're in a tough spot. We are.
I don't know, man.
God.
I don't know.
Oh, this team.
I think they score first next week, and then it's game over.
Yeah.
It's looking bleak. This is
we
looking
can't score
bleak.
more. Listen, it's the only way we go through is if we win 1-0. We're not scoring 2 goals in PSG. Let me just tell you like that from now.
I think we can.
This is a complete different game. The Madrid game, we went there with 3-0 lead, confidence. Even though Saka missed the penalty, it was a complete different thing. We didn't have to attack Madrid. And we didn't.
Let me ask you guys this.
When we went, it was strategic. Now we have to go. And when we go, their pace on the break, killer.
We saw
people use like the Aston Villa, like they get hope from the Aston Villa game, but that was the Aston Villa home leg. That was not in Paris. You know what I mean? In Paris, PSG did what they're supposed to do.
3-1.
The way they bopped off Liverpool. They lost to Liverpool in Paris after bopping them off the park, and then went to Anfield and knocked them out, blood.
Yeah, they bopped Liverpool in Paris.
This is a different animal. Real Madrid were a wounded animal. Players out of form, players injured. We had the same as well, but we had injuries. Our players were going into there confident, on form after that 3-0 win.
Yeah, that is true.
The only thing that helps us is, you get me, we don't wish injuries and them thing there, but Dembele. Because they changed. They changed after Dembele went off. He's
out. They reckon he's out, you know.
Enrique was saying
Enrique was willing to give us the ball for the last 20. He was willing to say, all right, you don't have the ball. And then even without Dembele, they still created the chances. Bacola had that mix. Ramos hit the bar.
Yep.
Yeah, they have stuff.
I can't even lie. I'm still absolutely vexed that we didn't even go and try to get Kvaratskhelia in January, man. That was an absolute disastrous thing to do. How you get a market we're looking for a market opportunity. There you go. It's there. It's arrived. Wow, we can't believe I didn't think it was going to. Wow, we're going to get Kvaratskhelia. £63 million. We paid 65 M's for Havertz and put him on 290 a week. Let's go get Kvara. And he goes to PSG, and I'm like, we didn't even try. Now, look, I don't mind if he goes PSG. That's not the issue. For me, it's the fact that we just didn't even try.
Okay.
Come on, man. Left wing. You asking me what left wingers are about in world football? He is the one. He is my number one target. He and Isak were my 2 ones. I was like, just go and do. Isak looks unobtainable. Go get Gyökeres. Left wing, Kvaratskhelia would have been number 1 by quite some distance. Ahead of Nico Williams, ahead of Lookman, ahead of Mitoma, and all these other names we're linked with. Kvaratskhelia leaves all them dead in the water. We didn't even try, boys. We just went, oh, well, we'll try and put in a late bid for Ollie Watkins. Like,
Was that even a bid?
no.
40 million?
Well, yeah, exactly.
That
Was
even
that
a
even a
fucking bid?
thing?
That was a throwaway.
You understand? Man went there and said, Joe, you might want a biscuit.
That was a throwaway.
Oh, man.
That was the thing. Let me ask you guys this: How would you handle this Bournemouth game? Would you rotate for rest,
Yeah,
or do
rotate,
we go
Do
for
you know what I'd do?
for
I'd play
continuity?
Odegaard. I'd play Odegaard, mate.
For continuity, you go.
Full 90 minutes, I'm letting him play, blood. Yeah?
Then drop him for the Champions League.
Drop him for Champions League, bro. Yeah? Drop his Clark, blood.
I'm probably giving him the week off, if I'm honest. Bournemouth included.
He's had the whole fucking season off.
Yeah, I mean, really off. Like, just you're not, not in, whether it's
go
the
on vacation.
injury and it's injections or whether it's confidence and psychological. It's having a, we need to against Bournemouth. I get why you're saying that because every other game in between Troops, I've said play Odegaard into form. Now I've had enough of that. Now it's playing Ranieri in the 10, Saka on the right. Actually, no, not Saka on the right. Ranieri in the 10. Sterling on the left. Who else we got? Who else have we even fucking got?
You might have to do Tierney on the left, Sterling on the right.
Yeah,
Tierney.
Play the left back and left wing.
Tierney has gone to left wing off the bench.
But then is
We've
it fair
seen it.
for Nwaneri's trial at 10 to go with such forwards? It's just like...
Look at the state of this squad, man. Look at the state of this squad.
Who built this squad, though? They tell me we don't have a bench. Truth, look at the bench yesterday. We only had Ethan. Who fucking built the bench? Who fucking built this front line, bro? Who the fuck sold my guy by my blood clot Yang and like a blood clot set and bought fucking Havertz blood? I didn't fucking do that. He fucking did that. Not me. Fucking Sterling on loan. You fucking prick.
Lee made a good point on Forever. Lee said when you got to the game early, he saw like Deji and who else? Henry Francis. I don't know. He said warming up like before the match on the pitch, and he just said, well, these men ain't playing. They ain't playing, and that just shows you.
It's numbers.
Where we are. Really. I still believe we have a chance, and if we do it, miracle, right? If we win this Champions League, miracle, right? But the right now, the cracks is papering over. It's the biggest cracks, in the last 5 years.
Bro, this is a bigger crack pandemic than Harlem in the 80s, bro. Man, know how it went there, blood. Paid in full settings, bro. Man,
I watched Godfather of Harlem as well. If you know,
this is you understand? Frank Lucas type of shit, bro. Zaza,
If I point my camera outside, you might see some.
Yo, trust me, Zaza, blood. You understand? Shout out my 106 niggas. You know what I'm saying?
Them train station crackheads.
And by the way, before I get clipped for 5 years, I meant 3 years. Since we've been that team again where we're challenging, these are the biggest cracks since the whole trajectory of
next level.
Yeah.
Over the line.
Yeah. These next Premier League games are a joke, by the way. These next Premier League games are just absolutely in the way. No one gives a shit. They're all socials. No one cares. My away days are done, man. I ain't going to Anfield. I ain't going to Southampton. No. Fuck it. You know what I'm saying? These are Emirates games against Bournemouth and Newcastle, is it? They're going to be dusty, mate. They're going to be dusty, boring. Who cares? And do you know what? I don't actually care. People will say, well, no, I don't got loads to play for. We got to make sure we're in that top 5. Tap me out, man. I don't want to be going for top 5s. If we don't win the league, I don't care where we finish. I honestly don't care. People say to me, oh, well, you got to make sure you're in the Champions League. We will be. We might finish 5th if we have an absolute stinker, but we'll be in the Champions League. I don't care. I don't want to be competing in the Champions League as a massive trophy. That ain't a trophy to me. Winning it is. I want to be winning stuff. I didn't come support this club because we were quite good at coming second. Yeah. I didn't grow up under George Graham going, second, I'm going to go and do some cartwheels around the roundabout. No, man, I was in mourning. Do you know what I'm saying? I was in fucking mourning coming out of Highbury in 2003 when we threw it away to United. I didn't start celebrating and saying, give this guy a bloody statue and let's give him a 3-year deal and let's go and buy a fucking dog. None of this crap back then. All of this stuff now is all waffle, man. Honestly, man, I'm sick of it. All this fans getting giddy about us buying. He's got a light bulb in his hand. What a genius this guy is. Man, if he doesn't win the Champions League, sack him. Real talk. I'm sick and tired of coming second. I'm sick and tired of runners up.
That's the next conversation, I think. I
I,
think I might be with you.
I hate it as well because everyone's you can't sack him now. He's got to a semi-final.
I mean,
I told you.
I took bullets for the guy.
I told you, Zar. Yeah, you used to defend this man. Yeah, this man literally got you killed, blood. Yeah,
I literally took bullets for the
do you
guy.
understand? This man literally got Zar's killed,
People
blood.
wanted to beat my ass off,
bro. Listen, I stand on what I said, blood. This man is our Brendan Rodgers, bro. You get me? We need to find our Jurgen Klopp, blood. You understand? I'm tired of being a nearly team. I never grew up looking at Newcastle under Keegan and thought, yeah, I want to be that team. The nearly men. I don't want that, blood.
They don't want that. Let alone us.
I don't need that, bro. That didn't make me support Arsenal. It's true what Potts is saying, bro. You understand? It was legendary shit that made me support this club, blood. All the new fans, blood. Why do you support Arsenal? Because the Invincibles, because of all of this, blood. You get me? We're here protecting Arteta when we put Wenger's head on a stick for doing better. Wenger was getting top 4 every year and a trophy. 1 every 2 years. Wenger's last 5 years is better than Arteta's first 5. And we were in the pits of hell. We were in the pits of hell in that last 5 years.
3 FA Cups.
3 FA Cups, Carabao Cup final,
Yeah.
Europa League semi-final. I mean,
You know, Man United, since they got rid of Fergie, have won 13 trophies. We've won 3 since we got rid of Wenger. No, we've won 1, sorry, since we got rid of Wenger.
Yeah, 1.
Do you know what? I'll say 3 because we won Community Shields and they count, apparently.
No, I'm not counting it. That's some pre-season
United ain't won 13 trophies.
It's 13. I've got it wrong. It's including Community Shields. Sorry. That was why I did it.
Yeah.
It's kind of tongue-in-cheek, but it's true.
I mean, I just don't.
They won shitloads more is the point, Turkish. Do you know what I'm saying? And they've been a disgrace since Fergie. Absolute disgrace since Fergie. And they've won shitloads more than us. It's crazy, man. It's just absolutely mad that we can go through this and think they've won these FA Cups and Europa Leagues and League Cups and they've been a disgrace. We've got 1 FA Cup to show since we got Wenger out, who was apparently the problem. Not that I didn't want him out, because I did. So, look, it's not all doom and gloom. It's 1-0. Looks like we could still go through, but I'm not confident. I'm just not.
Yeah.
I'm just not, man.
So watch and support, but ain't confident at all.
Yeah.
The attack is just...
My people,
not there.
let me know in the comments what you lot think, blood. You get me? Because this is going to be an interesting one. You understand? Some people are saying it's done. Some people are saying it's not done. Let me know what you lot think, blood. You get me? Either way, you understand? If it goes left, heads need to roll, blood. You get me? Heads need to roll. Berta needs to just, you know what I mean? You see that button? Press it. You get me? Press that blood clot button. Because 2019, this man came into the club, blood. You understand? And he is living off a COVID FA Cup, blood. That no fan got to celebrate, bro. You get me? FIFA settings, bro. You get me? You know, when you lift it and the crowd's just empty, blood. And the trophy's the trophy's not even fully in your hands, blood. Do you understand? Looking like a hologram. 750 down the drain, blood. Nah, mate. You understand? Wrong decision making. This was your year, mate. This was the season where big trophies had to be won, blood. You understand? Even if we had finished the season with the FA Cup, bro, I probably would have said, all right, cool, you got me a trophy. You know what? Say no, I can't really. I mean, I'm from round the way. Denzel settings. I'm leaving with something, blood. You get me? But you're obviously not from round the way, blood. You understand? it is what it is, bro. You get me? But big up the man, them as always, blood. You understand? Make sure you subscribe to the gang. Follow all that good stuff. Link in the description as always, blood. You get me? Man, them appreciate your time as always, blood. You understand? But yeah, like, share, comment, and subscribe. Hopefully, we go through to the Champions League final. Because if we don't, I'll tell you, I got dead, rude boy.